Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about how to find symbolism.
There used to be an anti-drug public service announcement that went like this. This is your brain, this is drugs, this is your brain on drugs. That's a kind of symbolism, and you understand it instantly. The egg represents, or is a symbol for, your brain. The pan is a symbol for drugs. The relationship between the two is that the drugs fry your brain. Pretty obvious, right? This is a kind of symbolism, and you already understand it. So a symbol is a thing that represents or stands for something else, usually something you can see or touch that represents something more abstract, the way a logo represents an organization or a heart represents a feeling. That's easy. But those are visual symbols. Symbols can be written in words too. That's a little more interesting because it isn't as obvious as an egg in a frying pan. Not only that, you have to figure out yourself what the symbol represents. It could represent different things depending on how it's used. For example,
Our first step is to identify a symbol, so we should look for things that are repeated or described in great detail. For example,
a woman receives flowers from some guy she likes. The two are very much in love, and she's really happy about getting the flowers. The author describes the flowers in such detail that they seem more important than just flowers. The image is made to stand out in some way, and if you're alert, you'll catch that.
once we find a symbol, we need to start brainstorming general connotations, which are feelings, ideas, or associations with that particular object. For example,
In a work of literature, what do flowers represent? Love, hope, youth, death, just about anything? The best answer is just about anything, because what a symbol represents depends on what's around it.
our third step is to consider the context of the symbol in the story. For example,
Later, the author takes time to describe the flowers again. This time, they're wilted or dead. An alert reader might see that the flowers are a symbol for something else, maybe the love between the two people, and that the flowers' later wilted condition is a sign, or symbol, that their love has wilted or died as well. Get it? The flowers equal their love. When the flowers die, it means their love has died. We know the flowers mean this because the context of the flowers is the love story. If the context was different, the meaning would be different. Let's say it was a story about gangsters. The dead flowers in that story could represent the knowledge that the character's life, like the flowers, will be short. It all depends on the context. Or here's another example from film instead of literature. In an old Swedish movie called Wild Strawberries, an old man takes a trip from one city to another. It's a long drive. But if you look at the context of the story, you'll see that the old man is also taking a trip into his past, into his memories. And just as he encounters surprises and unpleasantness on the physical trip, he's also discovering unpleasant things about himself and his life. The road trip is a symbol for a journey of self-discovery. Furthermore, do you see that in that earlier example that it isn't enough to say that the flowers symbolize the love? That's only half the job. You have to take one more step. You have to look at what the author wants you to feel about the symbol. Because the flowers are shown to be wilted, we're being invited to see that what happened to the symbol, the flowers, has also happened to the thing it represents, their love. So you have to look at the author's attitude towards that symbol. If the author's attitude is deeply respectful, then we are supposed to feel respect as well. If the author's attitude when writing about the wilted flowers is sad, then we're being told that maybe we should feel that way about the two people's wilted feelings for one another as well.
so to recap our 3 steps to finding symbolic meaning, the first thing you do is look for an object that stands out in the text, whether because it's described in great detail or it's repeated a lot. Then think about general connotations we have with such an object like that. And lastly, consider the context of that object in the story.